Good morning, and first things first, I'd just like to say thank you for all the comments I got from a recent video where I was walking through the countryside. Now, for me, it worked okay, but there was a couple of problems with it. I used to have this podcast, Molly Walks, and it was all audio. So when I was walking, I was basically just concentrating. There was nothing to do with the camera. I was concentrating on describing the experience. But the thing is, when I did it with the camera, it's a bit awkward because you keep falling into this habit of saying kind of, look at that, or expecting people to be able to see, whereas I really wanted them to hear about how I described it and whatever. So I'm going to do one again, probably if we get a nice day in the middle of winter when there's unbroken snow on the ground and beautiful views. I'll certainly do one in spring when all the buds are coming out and when the birds are singing like mad. But today we want to talk about something that I do, something that I'm really guilty of, and that's procrastination. Now, I'm not talking about procrastination, I'm talking about big procrastinations like not paying a bill forever until it gets you in trouble, or driving the car with no oil in it, or thinking you've got some kind of really dangerous disease and not bother getting it checked out. I'm talking about the tiny little procrastinations, things like putting off cleaning the oven, putting off hoovering, putting off making that appointment, just putting them off till tomorrow, putting off making that phone call, cleaning the car, cleaning the windows, that kind of procrastination. These insidious little lack of actions aren't the things that will cause major catastrophes, but they're the little things that you don't do, you put it off, but you know it's going to be pecking at your mind. And all these little pecks take up your time, and they just take up seconds. And those seconds, those wasted seconds, turn into wasted minutes. And then those wasted minutes turn into wasted hours. And those wasted hours turn into wasted days. And it's wasting your life. And it's not worth it. And we all do it. But why do we do it? It's so much easier just to do that job, isn't it? There are people out there, and are people probably watching this, who don't procrastinate and prevaricate as much as some of us. Is it laziness? I don't know. But I do it all the time. But when you do it, you actually know. When you're putting something off, putting a job off, you know full well that it's going to play on your mind, that it's going to bother you. Don't you? It's like I don't know, it's not a big thing, making that phone call. I've now been messing about for about a month. I have to have a blood test every 6 months. And they said, oh, I got a message, right, your phone up, make an appointment for your 6 monthly blood test. And I haven't. And every day I get up and I think, oh, I better make that appointment. And then I don't. And I just go about my day because it's kind of, I think I must be lazy. And I envy people who can just strike while the iron's hot. Get that job done, get that little job done, a little tiny job that's going to take 5 minutes. And we don't do it. And there's a lot of us out there who are like that. Strike while the iron's hot, a stitch in time saves 9. All these little sayings that you think are just incidentals, but they're not, because they are there for a reason. And you know, these sayings have been there for hundreds and hundreds of years because people were doing exactly the same thing all that time ago, way before technology, way before the car, way before the Industrial Revolution. People procrastinated, and a stitch in time does save 9, and it saves all that endless little wasted moments. I keep going on about making the most out of life, and when you add up all the time that you're out, you may go for a walk in the countryside and you've put something off, and then you get out and you regret it, and you kind of think about it for a bit. Oh, I wish I'd done that, because then you've got it to look forward to, or not to look forward to. You've got it to do in the future when you get home. And then you get home and you might put it off again and think, well, it's all right, it'll wait till tomorrow. But yes, it will. But why should it? And it is a waste. And I do it, and I know I'm doing it, and I regret doing it. I've needed to wash my car now for about a month, and I put it off and I make excuses like the weather's bad or blah, 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 and I'm going to have to get it done, and I'm going to force myself to do it when we get home. And the thing is, it's only a little car, it takes me about a quarter of an hour, and it's done. And then I stand back and I have a look at it and I think, oh, doesn't it look nice now? It's all shiny and red and shiny wheels, and I'm glad I did that. But I've procrastinated for literally weeks. And each time I've procrastinated, I've come out and it's played on my mind a little bit. I should have done it. And that's wasted time. And I talk so much about how we should use every moment, every second we can, because we're only here briefly. And I think we are so lucky to have been given the chance to be here, aren't we? What a fantastic privilege, what a fantastic gift. And then we abuse it by procrastinating about little things that we don't think really matter. But they do, because if they didn't matter, they wouldn't be pecking away at our heads, would they? So that means do that little job when it comes along. Make sure you do. I've got to check, because apparently my car insurance company charged me too much. And then I switched insurance companies, and the original one sent me a message saying, you're going to get a check, we've overcharged you, so you're going to get a check. And I've got this check come through, and I can pay it through my phone. And it's sitting on the on the dining room table. And it's been there for about 3 days. And it's money. It's just over 100 quid, 102 quid. And it's money, and I've not got a lot of money. And it's like a 5-minute process just to do it. And I'm going to do it when I get home, because I'm procrastinating. Oh, it'll wait, it'll do. I'm lazy. Or am I normal? Do we all do it? Do a lot of us do it? I think probably more of us do it than would like to admit to it. Just the little things, not the big things. We probably have those covered. The more important things, your health, your family's health, they're all covered. Making sure you've got oil in the car so it doesn't blow up when you're on your way to Asda. But the little things that waste time. And I'm not talking about wasting time not doing something. I'm talking about wasting time by being out here in the countryside, but having something on your mind. And if there's something on your mind, then you're not getting the full benefit of being out here. I've talked about that check now, and the blood, and getting my bloods done. Now I'm thinking about it. Isn't that a waste of valuable time? Of course it is. We all know it is. So don't procrastinate. It's a mortal sin. Get things done, and that leaves you mind free to concentrate on the nice things. Things like this. Walking up this slight slope with a stream and a valley at the side of me. And that ha-ha is on my left. I've talked about that before. And Molly is behind me. And it's a nice day. And as luck would have it, I'm retired. So I am going to do these things when I get home. I will report in to tell you that I've done them. But in the meantime, don't follow me in my procrastinations. Do it. Strike while the iron's hot. A stitch in time saves 9. These sayings aren't there just for the fun of it. These sayings are there because it's good for you to get these things done. It's good for your well-being. It's good for your mind. And this is just another part of this peaceful living, slow living, another little area that you can get covered, because there's no point putting everything into place to live a slow and a peaceful and a gentle and a stress-free life as much as you possibly can, then leaving little things, leaving little doors open to ruin the experience. And this is one easy one to cover. And not only will it get these little jobs done, but I guarantee, yeah, it will give you a little bit of a nice feeling to get a box ticked. It always does, doesn't it? And that's the sermon for today. Don't procrastinate. Get it done. And then you can come out here with a conscience completely clean, completely clear. And now I've resolved to do that, I actually feel a little better about it. So we can carry on our walk now, and I can put it aside. That little thought, that little nag of, why didn't I do that? I must phone up and make an appointment. I think a lot of it is like making appointments nowadays. If you have to do them over the phone, it's a faff, because nobody ever picks up, and then the phone call goes on, and then you're 55th in the queue, and blah, 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 blah. But it's got to be done, so do it. And we're going to do it. And I know I'm going to do it, I've decided I'm going to do it, and that means that the rest of our walk can be done in peace, and we're going to stay out for as long as we want to. Because it's another beautiful day, it's calm, no breeze. Little couple of birds chirping in the background. You can hear them. Oh, they're all over the place. I was going to say they're in the trees in front of me, the trees at the side of me. And when I had that last video, I put the camera across and I said that there was like some trees in the distance going up to Rivington Pike. Well, we're at the side of those trees now. We could climb up if we wanted to, but we're not going to. We're just going to carry on and enjoy ourselves. So have a good day, everyone, and we shall see you on the flip. Peace and love.